So we're going to talk about the meaning of Maya. One of my friends who was like my brother of another mother died on Sunday. And we're going to talk about Maya. And we're going to talk about Maya because people don't understand the true meaning of Maya. And because people are actually awakening and feeling like they're going insane because they're like in Twilight Zone cities and villages and surrounded by people who I'm being told to say non-believers. And people who are so entrenched in 3D that as you awaken from this deep, deep coma, and it's a coma that we've had in multiple incarnations. And whenever we had a grain of light that showed us there was more than what we were being told 500 years ago, 600 years ago, 2,000 years ago, we were slammed. We were beaten down. Look at what happened to Joan of Arc. People believe in light bringers when it suits their purpose. And Joan of Arc, if you've never studied her story, I invite you to study her story because many of you are suddenly hearing voices, getting downloads, and you think you've got you're psychotic, you're having mental problems. And the mental problems aren't that you're crazy, it's that you're actually splitting through the veils of the other side. And many of our children, many, are being lobotomized through pharma. And so we, as the elders and the olders and the young ones who have a sense of righteous indignance, and who are shaman, light warriors, dark empaths, Kuan Yin energy, soft energies, but no less powerful than the warrior ones. We're all needed. So I promised that I was going to do a story on Maya. It's my absolute favorite story. Hi, Foxy. Hi, all of you. Hi, my Russian friend, Luna. And I'm going to talk to you about how fucked up the 3D brain is. And this story, so I'm going to wait for people to get on. And please share this live. Hi, Catherine. I hope you got the link I sent you for our session. Just so you know, I'm going to introduce myself because I'm not sure if you guys... There's a lot of people who know me here, but there's a lot of people who don't. It's not like there's a lot of people here, but about half of you don't know what I do. I'm a hypnotherapist, past life regression, a psychic. I read the AKASHIK records, tarot. I've been fascinated by past lives since I was 3 years old, remembering choosing my parents. And this understanding of choosing one's parents can be a real mindfuck if your parents are toxic. And hey, Ani Mika, thank you so much for sharing the live. Please share the live. I'm being shadow banned. You know why I know? Because I have a lot of clients who love and look forward to these lives, and they keep missing them. They're not getting notifications. All right. So please, and Tony, if you can let Jen know that I'm on a live, because she might want to hear this story. If you're there, Tony. But share it. And then when you're ready, let me ask you this. Would you like me to tell you the story of Maya first or do an oracle for the collective first? You guys vote. Let me know what you want to do, because this is a co-creation. Would you like a tarot? I mean, it's not a tarot reading. It's an oracle reading, and I think I'm going to give you about 2 oracle cards, one in the front, one after the... Okay, you got it. Oracle. And then right in between will be the story of Maya and what Maya means. And it's a perfect story that I hope you guys can repeat back to explain to others, because we are storytellers, and we must continue the knowledge of certain wisdoms. And I can't tell you where I first heard that story, to be honest. I have no fucking idea where I remembered this story, where I was told this story. So I've got some decks, and they're all beautiful. And I'm being really drawn to, there's two, and I'm not sure, I have four actually. And the one that I'm going to go with is called Earth Warriors Oracle. Earth Warriors Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And if you follow my lives, you know that Alana Fairchild is my fucking girl. If anyone knows how to write oracles, because a lot of these people do like one paragraphs, it's all about the art, and which is fine. I love art, don't get me wrong, but to me it's the content of the character, not the art, though the art is freaking damn good, actually, to be honest. So she's amazing. All right, so Earth Warriors Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. It's very shamanic. It's very Pachamama, Bufo, that kind of energy, okay? So I need you guys to give your angels, guides, and allies permission to, to give you the message. And if you are, hey, it's a beautiful deck. Yes, it is. If you are here, then I would say you should think of this as your message on the collective level. We only have 11 people. It's all good. It's not quantity, my friends, it's quality, always. And throughout history, it's been proven. From Hannibal Barca to Alexander the Great, to Joan of Arc, to Eleanor of Aquitaine, to Cleopatra, to Nefertiti. It's the one. We are one, is all we need is one. One badass warrior, shaman, Kuan Yin. All right, let's do it. Tell me when you want me to stop by picking top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. And the most that is chosen is what I'll pick. Okay, you guys? All right, let's begin. And when you're ready, what is the message I have? Top. Okay, I'm stopping. What is the message for the collective? What is the message for the collective? Top. One more or four more? Because I'm getting top. Top. You got it. I stopped. Okay, guys. It's decided. Top. This is 15. The number 15. And 15 in Kabbalah numerology is the magician. It's the co-creator. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is love. Love in tarot is 6. It's the lovers. It's a choice. You choose what you want to experience in this incarnation, in this timeline. It also means it's connected to the planet Venus, and there's a lot going on. The name of the card is Ajna Durga. Ajna Durga, power of good. And Ajna Durga is being represented by this beautiful brown-skinned woman with this tiger by her. And again, it's 15. And I'm going to go ahead and look for the number, and then I'm going to read to you. And as I tell all my clients, I want you to close your eyes and listen with your body, not just your ears, but your body. I want your cells to know this. Okay, let's begin. I'm going to read. 15, Ajna Durga, power of the good. You need never lose faith in the power of good. I feel like crying right now because I think we're losing faith. We're losing faith because of what's happening, what we're witnessing. You need never lose faith in the power of good. You need never lose faith in how much you can accomplish as an independent and inspired individual in this world. You need never believe that you are alone or without divine. You are never without divine protection. You need never fear evil. Did you guys hear that? You need never fear evil. The third eye of the Divine Mother sees all things, is ever watchful and ever just. She births through holy visions the manifest power of good in all realms. Her gaze is upon you now. Trust her. In a reading, believe in the power of the divine to keep an eye on things for you. Trust that power to alert you when you need to know something or to understand what is happening in your life and what you need, even if you aren't so sure of that yourself at times. Actively contest. Did you guys hear that? Actively contest negativity. How do you do that, my friends? You chant a mantra. My favorite mantra, 3 lines. That's it. Om Namah Shivaya. Why? Because it's a simple mantra, and a child can learn. A 3-year-old, you could teach a 3-year-old to say that, rather than row your boat. Om Namah Shivaya. Wouldn't it be great to see little children naked in the sun, running around, beautiful in their innocence, and chanting Om Namah Shivaya, making garlands of daisies, and women and men harvesting. Om Namah Shivaya. Actively contest negativity. When you feel something isn't coming from love, acknowledge it immediately, which means what? You start chanting over it. In other words, you're not blind to it. You don't put your head in the sand. You see it, and your job is to transmute the negative energy into high frequency. If you see people suffering, which is sadly not hard today, transmute the energy. You can't do Jack. You can't do Jack, right? You're sitting there with your phone, holding it, horrified at images. Try to transmute the energy by sending beautiful light, healing energy. In other words, your remote healing. And know that you are enough unto yourself to accomplish that. Bring rain where there is no rain. Bring hope when there's no hope. Call on the massive, titanic archangels to go surround these places in the world. You don't have to make it about you or analyze it. Use your divine connection to deal with it promptly and effectively. Call for divine support in all things. You will not divert help from someone else if you ask for it for yourself. If you need help because you are in massive dark night of the soul, you are not being selfish if you need help. Because ultimately, we need you to come out of the dark night of the soul. Because if you don't make it, we lose another warrior. And you're important. You fucking matter. Allowing yourself to be helped empowers your path, which in turn, please listen to this. I'm going to repeat it. Allowing yourself to be helped empowers your path, which in turn helps all beings. Did you hear that? The dark night of the soul is not the end all be all of a destruction, but a transformation. Divine assistance is always there for you unconditionally. If you need to get drunk or high, fuck it, but ask for protection while you do it. I'm not going to start, belaboring what all of us need for an hour, for a minute, for a day. But then get back off your knees. Make that your pact. Right now, I need to soften the edges. God, source, angels, please protect me while I do what I gotta do. I just can't do this today. I gotta fucking, sleep, whatever. Okay? Don't fucking beat yourself up. You are not the martyr. You are not to be like a priest. Remember the priests that used to whip themselves, their backs with whips until it bled? Stop doing that shit. If you are not thinking the best thoughts, divine support will correct them. If you allow it, that is. Never hesitate to call for that support. It is your greatest ally. Give up your attachment to past experiences of rejection and abandonment so that you can open to how much the divine loves you and can help you. Practice feeling confident and unconditional trust in a higher power, knowing it is stronger than all else. It gets even better. Can you fucking believe it? It does. Spiritual guidance. In the Hindu pantheon of divine beings, Durga shines bright as a powerful warrior goddess and protector of the good and true. She is the unified potency of all divine forces of goodness against negativity and evil. An icon for independence and divine power of the light, Durga is the solar mother who restores order and protects the human soul by destroying impurities such as jealousy, hatred, anger, and selfishness. If you're struggling with any of this, right? It's okay to cry and say, my God, I thought I was healed. We don't really ever, you get this, right? In 3D, we don't really heal, but we become more and more and more aware of our shadows so we can handle it and honor it and deal with it. Okay? Once we get into 5D, we're not so entrenched in these negative. In other words, we're not buried alive by them. We become transcendental. She is creative, inventive, responsive, and powerful. Once a particular adept demon looked like he was getting the upper hand in a battle with her, so Durga promptly birthed Kali out of her third eye. What is that? What do you think that means? Did you hear this? Durga promptly birthed Kali out of her third eye to battle a demon. It's a parable. It means your power lies in your complete acceptance of your power and your opening all channels to downloads so you can see what is really truly happening, so you can become transcendental and have enough power to transmute it around yourself and for other beings. Kali, the black goddess, destroyed the demon ferociously, and immediately Durga is the invincible one. The Sanskrit word Durga means a fort, a place that is protected in battle and unable to overcome. Durga's power animal is the tiger. So if you were, look up if you guys were born, any of you born in the year of the tiger, okay? Indicating her unlimited power to protect virtues and destroy evil. She is bright. She is swift. She's the unconquerable. Did you hear? Unconquerable goodness. I need you guys to write this down somewhere or over your computer. Unconquerable goodness. Not to be conquered. Impossible to conquer goodness. Write it down somewhere. Durga comes into view when you have been fighting negative energies at some level, whether obviously in the world or more deeply within your soul. If you do not acknowledge this, you may fall prey to unnecessary confusion and self-doubt, believing that the issue can be dealt with as solely psychological matter. Meaning you start thinking you're crazy. Believing that the issue can be dealt with as a solely psychological matter. Instead, it is a spiritual issue that requires the divine intervention and protection now offered to you. It is helpful to remember that evil is not about people, but about the forces that operate through them with ill intent. Durga is an inextinguishable light, and she is rising within you now. Her presence reminds you of the light that is divine and true, and therefore cannot ever be subject to any lesser power such as hate, fear, jealousy, spite, or greed. Or I'm going to add revenge. No matter how intimidating an opponent or situation may seem, they are no match for the sacred rage of the divine goddess of light and justice. She vanquishes the evil that haunts their souls and perpetuates distress. Durga is your ally, your divine weapon, your refuge, and your vital energy for sacred purpose. Do not allow yourself to be intimidated. Do not allow yourself to be intimidated. You can be confident in yourself and go about your work. You need not explain yourself or justify your actions to anyone other than the divine in your own heart. Do not turn away from any obstacle. Believe in the power of the divine to clear the path, and the way shall be cleared. Believe that you are held in the fort of divine light, yet your confidence and trust in the divine goddess of goodness radiate from you like a shining sun that fills your heart, mind, and belly. If your confidence has been diminished because of past attacks or encounters with those who are so toxic that they cannot or will not recognize the difference between constructive communication and verbal, emotional, psychic, or physical abuse, then take heart. You are blessed with divine intervention, protection, and healing. Your confidence and sense of personal and spiritual power shall be fully restored and will increase through this experience of healing. You shall discover the peace and confidence that comes from the realization that love can never be conquered. Healing process. Say out loud. Fuck it, I'm going to say it. Unconditional, loving light of Durga, bless my endeavors and relationships with your divine light and protection. Hold me in the fort of divine goodness where I am unharmed. Your beauty and truth shine light into any darkness, keeping me safe and blessed in grace. May your divine justice prevail. So be it. And the chant is Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Doom Durgaye Namaha. That was a hell of a fucking reading, guys. You picked a very powerful message. Any shares with the collective that you felt? Any downloads as I read this? I would so appreciate if you shared. Any shares? Are you ready? You welcome, Foxy. Are you ready for the story of Maya? Before this live, I felt this. Beautiful. Good. And you are that girl. You are that powerful soul. Don't be disheartened. Yeah. And I just got the news that my friend, who I talked about, some of you were on the live where I talked about my friend on his deathbed, and he died on Sunday at 8 o'clock in Scotland. And it shook my world. And in some sense, I thought, well, fuck, he's happy. He's lucky, you know, because though he was a spiritual being, he said it in his own way, in his own words. He said he's the guy that is the glass is half empty. And for people who have that consciousness of the glass is half empty, though they are spiritually aware and awake, the mercy was for him to go home. Because what we're about to walk into, people like that, it's hard. It would destroy a soul. I'm not kidding. You guys who are here are strong. You actually volunteered for this. Dolores Cannon talked about the 3 waves of volunteer. Welcome. Welcome. And so for some of us who are reporters on Gaza, Congo, Sudan, and our own lands where people live in tents, if we can't do anything and we feel powerless, that's a hell of a bad feeling to feel. But what you can do is start uplifting the transmission on the planet and transforming the energies, because here's what I'm going to say. The powers that be, the evil powers that are creating this reality right now. And it's almost like the Wizard of Oz, the curtain's been pulled down. That's going to be really hard for some of you highly sensitive empaths, but you have to step into your light and realize that you can remote heal. Remote heal. You're not powerless. Everybody here has their roles. Step into your roles. Some are reporting. Some are on the grounds, boots on the ground. Some are not. Some are on the other side of these veils that separate us from 3D and other dimensions, who are also working remote healing and guiding us. These are light beings you can call on as your allies. That's why I say to you to say, every morning you say, angels, guides, allies. I give you permission, not to mention, not only permission, I'm honored, I'm awed, I'm grateful that you're willing to help me, and I need your help. Guide my words, guide my actions, and protect me as I do what I was set here to do. Fuck, you're here, you might as well get some shit done, right? All right, are you ready for the story of Maya? It's one of my favorite stories. Let me know, or do you want another oracle reading? The story of Maya is very important. I'm hoping that you'll choose it, but, I got to go with the crowd. Only because we're co-creating this live. You ready for Maya, or are you ready for another oracle reading? Story. Okay, thank you. I'm going to wait for 2 more people to see what is the consensus. But after that, I will definitely do the story, if you guys choose another oracle reading. Okay, cool. All right, so Maya. Maya is one of the hardest things to explain to people. And somehow, some way, I came across this version. Like 25, 30 years ago. It's an amazing story. So Vishnu was walking with his devotee by the banks of a river. And his student asked Vishnu, could you please explain to me the nature of Maya? And Vishnu said, yes, I will. Do you see that farmhouse across the way, across the river? Could you see if you could bring me back a cup of milk? And so the devotee absolutely, scuffled up and crossed the river, was waist deep at the time, and came to the farmhouse on the other side of the riverbank, knocked on the door, and an old couple, opened the door, and behind them was their beautiful daughter. She had dark hair and wide, beautiful eyes, and And he immediately fell in love seeing her. And of course, they invite him in, and he said, I wanted to, can I have a cup of milk? And they said, yes, well, why don't you rest? And why don't you have some lunch? We're about to sit down and have lunch. And so they ate. And amnesia set in. And before you knew it, he fell in love with the girl, married her. The old farmers died one by one. They were buried. They had children. And before you knew it, he had 3 children. And one day there was a major storm. And the farm was being completely flooded. And so they had to find shelter. And they could see that on the other side of the riverbank, there was a high ground that they could go to, but they would have to cross the river. And so he held his wife, and she held one of the children. He held one of the children, another around their waist, and grabbed what they could. And one of the babies was holding onto his neck. And as the fierce river was pouring at them, and just his wife couldn't hold on to one of the babies, and they basically was ripped out of her hand. And they, one by one, his wife then, of course, let go of him to go for the child. And she was carried away by the river. And then the child around his neck could no longer hold on. And that child was ripped out of his, his care. And then finally the last child was taken. And as he climbed to the riverbank, sobbing and grieving and crying and sobbing, there was Vishnu's lotus feet. And he looked up into Vishnu's eyes, and Vishnu said, "Did you get my cup of milk?" Maya. Everything that he had experienced was Maya. Minutes had passed, but in his own perception, years had passed. And so Maya is what we are experiencing. And the real life is really beyond the veils. However, while we're here, there's many things we have been given the opportunity to release. And as I said in my live yesterday, as a matter of fact, I said that many times we think that we're trying to purge trauma from this incarnation. We limit this idea of our trauma being only exclusively this incarnation. And it has sometimes nothing to do with this incarnation. This incarnation is more of a result of past trauma from multiple incarnations not handled. Thus, our frequency brings us to an incarnation with parents and situations that will trigger to the forefront. And so when you meet your twin, another trigger, it's almost like another key turning, right? And all these things you might have thought you had handled wasn't handled. Do you have any shares that you want to, type in here? Any shares? What did you feel when I said that? Did you get the story about Maya? Was that a kind of a good way of explaining to people about Maya? Do you think? Be honest. Because honestly, me, when I first read it, I felt like I had been slammed in the third eye. Like I got it. And whenever I'm in a place of despair, I tell that story to myself, almost like a soothing bedtime story to myself. Because we have to remember not to give up. We have to remember that we don't have to worry. We're going home. I want to go home. I want to go. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. You're going home. Don't even fucking worry about it. That's a certainty. Okay? But while you're here, you know what you need to do. And you don't feel like you're ready. Or you don't feel like you're healed. A lot of people feel like they have to be healed. When people tell me they're fully healed, actually they don't tell me because I usually don't talk to them. When I hear people in the spiritual community said, I am healed, I'm like, bullshit. You wouldn't be here in 3D at all if you were healed. That's why The ancients understood that, and that's why they named, again, I'm not really good at this shit, but anyway, the constellation Chiron, the wounded healer, Chiron, 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 the wounded healer. And really true kick-ass healers are still working on their healing journey, and every client that comes to these healers has a petal, a small prismatic piece of their own healing. So the client has a piece of their own pain that is reflected back to the healer's own journey. In other words, when a healer is working with a client, if it's a good healer, healing facilitator, I should say, let me correct that, they will recognize a piece of them in that person. And they will recognize the struggle. And they will either have already gone through that struggle or going through that struggle, or they'll be triggered to realize, shit, I haven't worked on that yet. But they'll recognize it. That's why certain people are attracted to certain people for their healing journey and whatever. That's why you choose. That's why it's your shaman, but maybe not my shaman. Does that make sense? So when you think that you have to be ready and healed to start your spiritual, offerings to the world, you're really making a mistake. And it's a mistake of you not feeling like you're good enough. And here we go again with the good enough issue. Right? Because when you feel like you're good enough, then you're good enough to talk about your journey. Even if you're stumbling over some of your own things that you're like experiencing. But the main message I can tell you that's important that most of you should start doing is talking about your healing journey. And no matter how naive it sounds, because and the main message is you're not crazy. That's got to be the main message, because I can't tell you how many people are ending their lives because they really honestly are in parts of the world where they are told they are crazy by, and I'm going to say this only because I'm trying to be diplomatic, well-meaning friends and well-meaning family members. I'm assuming they're well-meaning. I'm going to assume that, because there's a famous guy. He's famous if you know, Matthias de Stefano. If he had been born in a part of the world where only 3D was believed in, and or there was no offense, I'm going to call him Holy Scriptures so you guys don't get offended. And he was being pounded by Holy Scriptures, dogmatic shit, right? And only that was true, and that was the only reality that was going to be acceptable. Then yeah, he would have been put in a mental home. And pharma used to lobotomize his abilities, his remembrance. And this guy, Matthias de Stefano, he definitely chose the right family, because they didn't believe in God. They didn't believe or believe. They didn't have an opinion, okay? But they also didn't have dogmatic ideas to suppress his understanding and remembrance. And this guy knows all about Atlantis. He knows the original names of shit. He knows, and you know he's not. You can't make this stuff up. I'm sorry, you can't. When you think of Gene Roddenberry with the Star Treks, the guy who was downloading. You know what I mean? He was downloading. Because some of the things he came up with was just crazy. People would have called him crazy, but he hid it under the concept of sci-fi. You know what I'm saying? So, but those were downloads. There's no way. Does that make sense? So, you have to find your own way of speaking your path to the public, okay, and feel comfortable about it. And you're not here to convince anyone. And it's very powerful when people say, well, convince me. Because I've had people do that. Convince me reincarnation exists. My answer to them is it would be like convincing you that you're taking your next breath. Why would I convince you? It's a reality. It's a reality millions of people have experienced. Actually, billions. I'm going to say it, billions of people have experienced. And I'm not here to convince you of anything. I don't care what you think. I know what I know. And that kind of confidence doesn't mean you're confident in your bikini, okay? This is a confidence of a soul level. You could be completely not comfortable with your own whatever, outward, whatever issues you're dealing with, and still be a badass spiritually. Okay? I may not be confident on a lot of shit, but I know I'm a badass conduit. And that's not an ego. That's just me knowing, or maybe it is an ego. I don't know. I don't give a shit, because that's an ego I don't mind having, because it's important, because it's in service to the collective. And I need you guys to understand that's where you need to step into. Well, I need to organize and take notes. I never take notes. I never organize shit when I do my videos, the ones that you see. All I organize is the art. That's it. I curate the art. I have an idea of what I want it to look like today with a theme of colors or whatever, and I put it together, and then I turn on the voiceover, and I talk. And sometimes I don't even know what the hell I'm going to say, to be honest. But what I'm going to say to you is that that's the way you're going to actually speak from your heart chakra, and actually you're releasing preconceived notions of what you should be preparing, and you're going to go right into the truth. And the truth is channeled through your crown chakra, through your third eye. Think of it as a filtering system out of your voice box, the throat chakra, meeting your root chakra, solar plexus. Definitely solar plexus. I'll tell you why, because that's the seat of power. That's why I tell people to work on their chakras every day. You don't let people work on your chakras. You work it's like, you're not disabled. You don't need someone to wash your body. Why would you have somebody clean your chakras? That's crazy to me, okay? That is crazy. When you give your power away to other people. Now, with that said, understand the difference. When you're a healing facilitator, like I am, I'm a hypnotherapist and all that stuff that I do, right? And a psychic, I work with a healer once a month. Why? Because I saw very powerful healers, very, very powerful healers, never go to another healer, end up in hospitals with undiagnosable illnesses. So I learned a long time ago, like I think when my son, like in 2008, I realized, holy shit, if I'm going to do this, I better work with a healer to help me shift the energies. Does that make sense? It's like getting a massage. So once a month, I get a massage. It's a recalibration. But every day I work on my chakras. I chant a mantra. Well, I chant a mantra all the time because the monkey mind is lethal. It's freaking, So any questions or anything that's a concern of yours that's going to benefit the collective, that would be awesome. If you guys want to share something. If not, we're going to go right into another deck, another oracle message, because I feel like we need to step into shamanic power. So the first one we did was Earth Warriors Oracle. And I'm being led to, here, I'm going to give you the names. And you guys are going to tell me what you want. One is called Lightworker Oracle. The second one is called Medicine Heart Oracle. All of them are by Ilana Fairchild. So you know she's kick-ass. You're not going to get disappointed. But one is Lightworker Oracle, Lightworker, or Medicine Heart. Which one would you like? And whatever consensus I get is what I'll choose. Again, I'll repeat. Lightworker Oracle or Medicine Heart. The first. So Lightworker. Having a hard time believing my twin is faithful, trying to let go of the fear. The fear isn't going to help you make him faithful. It's not. The fear is just not going to, it's just, you know what I'm saying? So what you're doing in allowing your monkey mind to be afraid that he's unfaithful is no offense, okay? I'm not trying to blame you or whatever, okay? You need to understand the difference between the spiritual toxicity of it's your fault, that's why you're living in a tent, it's your fault, that's why you're homeless. That's bullshit. What I'm going to tell you is that fear is an emotion as powerful as euphoria and bliss. And emotions is what's manifesting stuff. And so sometimes that's why we manifest the very things we don't want to experience. You understand? So if your monkey mind is having all kinds of weird, toxic fantasies about seeing your twin intertwined in a sexual position with another female or whatever partner, that's going to really, that fear is really as powerful as bliss and trust. Does that make sense? And that goes with any aspect of manifesting. That's what people don't understand. Manifestation is all about emotions. It's not so much about the affirmations, you know, because an affirmation is like a mantra, except I prefer mantras, to be honest. I love Louise Hay, don't get me wrong. She was the queen bee, and she invented the concept of affirmations the way we learned it in the 70s and 80s. She was really important. She, you know, but I prefer mantras only because of the Sanskrit vibration. Does that answer your question, Foxy? I know it wasn't a question, it was a comment, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so you gotta keep it. You gotta keep it going. You know, mantra. Does that make sense? Okay, it looks like everyone's saying the first. So, light worker. So I'm gonna go with the light worker. It's a deck I just got, and I am absolutely head over heels in love with this deck. Again, light worker oracle, fierce love 11/11 edition. And I love it. I love the diversity and the consciousness of that diversity in the decks. Kind of like my videos are very much in line with diversity. My TF and I are going to be in union suit for the first time. Oh, that's pretty exciting. Make sure it lasts. So make sure you do as much energy work as possible so that you don't get triggered. If you get triggered, make sure you sit with that on your own. Okay, don't let it explode in the middle of your space with your twin. Okay, like sit with that shit on your own, okay, and try to dissolve it or get real with it, okay? That's the secret to lasting union. All right, so I'm going to again ask you to focus on the message for you, and believe me, if you're here, it's an oracle deck, for Christ's sakes. It's not a tarot reading, so it's most likely your reading. You know what I'm saying? It's most likely a message, especially if you're willing to listen to the whole bloody thing. Yeah, thank you, Tony, for not telling to block my TF until erasure is not possible. Yeah, I tell that to everyone, and Tony knows that. You never block your twin. I don't know which... oh my God, I'm going to get... This triggers the fuck out of me because there's a lot of content creators that talk about blocking your twin. And Cora has some kind of creator that talks about the milk and honey of twin flame unions, and that's not for twin flames. That's twin rays. And there, I'm not saying I'm the queen bee of twin flames, okay? But I sure in the fuck know what I'm talking about because I've actually gone from the very beginning of this incarnation with my twin flame. Journey began at 18. I've had my high-level soulmate, and I've had the in-between guy that most of you would have thought was a twin flame, and it was not. It wasn't a karmic. I hate that term because we're all karmics. It was a lesson. It was a choice. I could have had him, but I went off the hamster wheel and went, yeah, that karmic wheel, I'm off it. And I'll tell you one day the whole story because you need to understand that story if you guys are interested. I'll tell you too because it's really important. Because a lot of times some of you mistake a twin for the last lesson before you're able to be in a twin flame union, okay? Or, yeah, in union. All right, so I'm glad Tony was able to connect with you and to let you know and to support you in that truth. That's really fucking important. My twin has done that a few times, only it lasts a few days. I'm kind of what? I'm kind of what, Anne? I don't know what you mean. Did I offend you? I hope not. It's not that I definitely don't want to offend anyone, but I want to make sure that you guys know your choices. Oh, no, not a queen bee. I love bees, though. I have a passion for bees. Passion. But I'm definitely not the queen bee. I'm just somebody who went through it, and I now know why I went through it, because it was to help a lot of people go through that journey. And I've had so many clients, and we have similar... not similar experience, obviously, but similar end results. There's an old saying, all roads lead to Rome. All roads, if you want it, lead to union. It's different roads. All right. A long story short, what's a twin ray? I'll tell you in a minute. I won't forget you, Gail. I will tell you in a minute. But right now, let's do the oracle card. So top, middle, or bottom? Top, middle, or bottom? Oh, that's really cool, Anne. I love that. Fuck, that's amazing. All right, top, middle, or bottom? What's the message? Go ahead, close your eyes, ask for the message. I'm going to stop now. Middle, okay, middle, top. I want to see what's the consent. Middle. Okay, I'm doing middle, guys. All right, divine talents, 39. 39 in Kabbalah numerology is 12. Okay? And 12 is the sacrifice and the victim. That's the negative. The positive is it's 3. 3 is the balance between the mind, body, and spirit. Divine talent. So there's this young blonde man who is playing a flute. Okay? And there's a moon behind him. And it's actually not a young blonde man. It's an actual angelic being. So 39. And what's interesting is this is my mother's number, 39. She was born March 3rd, 1939, all threes. So this is her number. So she might be stepping in. Sometimes I do readings and she steps in. All right, let's do it, my friends. Please close your eyes and listen with your body. Divine talents are where your soul shines brightest. These abilities are the means for self-expression that can become creative healing offerings in our world. When you embrace your talents, develop them further, and allow yourself to be seen and heard. Did you guys hear that? Seen and heard. Fuck, at least heard, like me. I don't like to be seen, but I love to be heard, obviously. Only because, privacy for me. You can maintain your purity by acknowledging that although your soul is the instrument, the music that flows through you, through that instrument, is divine. When you have the self-discipline and spiritual humility to refuse to identify with your abilities, you will avoid the danger of sabotaging yourself through arrogance and inflation or becoming envious of the talents of another. I just got the... let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to repeat that, okay? You can maintain your purity by acknowledging that although your soul is the instrument, the music that flows through that instrument is divine. When you have the self-discipline and spiritual humility to refuse to identify with your abilities, you will avoid the danger of sabotaging yourself through arrogance, inflation, or becoming envious of the talents of another. Grounding yourself in your ordinariness allows your extraordinary ability to shine, amplifying the potential for your talents to be genuine channel for spiritual love in our world. If you've ever seen the movie Amadeus about Mozart and Salieri, you might want to check it out, because that he was divinely guided. When Mozart wrote his music, it was divine downloads. Why do I know? Because I've seen poets do it as well. When you know you're channeling good work, it's almost like somebody turned on the faucet and you're like writing as fast as you can, or writing music or whatever. Your talents do not have to resemble those of another to have their own inestimable value. Do not be afraid to use them. Enjoy the interplay of your shining divinity and your grounded humanity. Divine talents are a way the universe reminds us what we are here to do, encouraging us to live from the heart and embrace the delight of enjoyment as a counterbalance. As a counterbalance, the inevitable challenges of life. Developing a talent often takes hard work over many lifetimes, but the joy that comes from being able to express it in loving service is ample reward. So I'm going to tell you something. I just thought of Grandma Moses, who started painting in her 90s. I'm trying to think of someone else that was a famous writer. I think Agatha Christie started writing at 40. So you might be an attorney, a nurse, a practitioner of some kind, and you're taking on shamanic singing or healing or painting. Vincent van Gogh didn't start painting until he was 28. He never had a lesson. He never went to art school. You don't have to go to art school. Oh, I have a master's in art. Yeah, but can you paint? No offense to anyone, guys. I used to have a magazine in art. And I you don't have to, oh, well, I'm not educated in fine art. Yes, you are. A 3-year-old can tell you if a painting is bad, and they usually have good taste. Don't filter what you think you're able to do through your own fears, whatever that is. There can be fear and doubt in using one's talent. Why? Because you're comparing yourself to other people. Well, they have a master's. They have a PhD in fine art. I'm giving you this example for a reason. Did Plato have a PhD in philosophy? No, but people today study him to get a PhD in philosophy. Remember that. It's great when you do have a PhD and you've worked your ass off. And again, I don't denigrate those I have great respect for those of you who have it. But I'm talking to the people who think that for them to step into their light, they have to have that. And they don't. Your journey to get a PhD in psychology, there are reasons behind it. Okay? Where some of us, some of you, need to be in your light with as much authenticity and confidence, soul confidence, not egoic confidence, soul confidence, to step into your light. Don't compare yourself to other people. Let's continue. Perhaps there is fear that we are not good enough, or that we shine too bright. Others will turn against us in jealousy or resentment, trying to undermine or criticize us to make themselves feel less adequate. If you have to dim your light to make people who supposedly love you, you better turn on you better turn on airport lights. Turn on the airport lights. Fuck this. And let them scrangle like cockroaches. Okay? Because I'm sorry, if they don't love you in your full ass nuclear bomb light, then we don't need to have them in our life. You're not here to please people. You're here to enlighten people. You're here to help the collective rise out of the ashes. Or else you wouldn't be here listening to me. Guilty. There are understandable fears because the majority of the human family are yet to awaken and live in awareness of love. That is why light workers are here and have a life mission. You are not here listening to me right now. Do you know why I don't have 2,000 people listening to me? Because they'd rather listen to people that act like robots. Oh, I love that rose. Oh my God, I love that puppy. Oh yes. You're not those people. They want mindless candy, eye candy. Do you understand? And you want to know why you can't rise off your knees. Fear. Fear of losing people, fear of offending people, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being ready. Fuck, the list is wrong and long. Wrong and long. These are understandable fears because the majority of the human family are yet to awaken and live in awareness of love. This is why light workers are here and have a life mission. Hello. When living in awareness of love, we can admire and enjoy the talents of another as an expression of divine awareness and energy. We know we have this energy within us too, even if it is manifest in different ways. And so rather than feeling and feeding the need to compare, we can celebrate and appreciate. Holding that awareness within can help us savor the sacred abilities in every soul, as well as alleviate the resistance we may feel in exploring and expressing our own soul abilities. Wow. And there's more. Divine talents manifest in infinite variability. Soul talents include the ability to consciously channel spiritual guidance and healing energy, to perceive clairvoyantly, or to have psychic and empathic abilities. Do you understand that some of you, if you were born or raised, I hate to say this because they may actually, just think of certain parts of the USA, parts in Europe, where they would, to this day, call you a witch. As if that's an insult anyway. Or crazy. Shit, if your idea of sane is that, call me crazy, please. Please, I'd rather be crazy than your idea of sanity. Holy shit, I'm out. If this is sane, I'm out. Right? Divine talents manifest in infinite variability. I'm repeating it for a reason. Soul talents include the ability to consciously channel spiritual guidance and healing energy, to perceive clairvoyancy, to channel. Some of you are going to start channeling. Discernment is a real issue. They ignore when I give them cures for cancer. Yes, because their path is to die. I hate to say it. It's a cold-blooded answer, right? But it's a truth. Sometimes someone's healing is their death. My mother's final healing was her death. My friend's final healing was his death. He chose not to get the operation. He died Sunday. He chose to die. He wrote huge essays on why he was deciding death over procedures. And part of the thing that he did not say is that he was depressed. He didn't want to do this anymore. And that's fair enough. So what happens when you're giving them cures for cancer and they don't want to do it is because first of all, there's a block, there's a veil that's not letting them see your wisdom. And they want to go. And so at that point, you've got to be there to let them go in the right vibration, at the best vibration you can assist them with. That's it. He was a hell of a man. And he was ready for the next journey. The man was a nomad, so that's his next journey. He's nomadically going to jump on planets and do all kinds. He's going to have a ball. He's going to bring sunshine wherever he goes. But his only Achilles heel, and we all have one, his shadow was that glass is half full, half empty. But he was such a loving man. It was such a contrast to his heart. It was weird. I loved him. I love him still. I'll meet him on the other side. I already know that. Spiritual talents also include communication with higher guidance, spiritual release from earthbound spirits, and did you hear that? And earth healing techniques such as working with energy grids, crystals, and the many and varied technologies of light such as essences, sacred geometry, and various energetic healing modalities. However, there are other spiritual talents such as an ability to speak, write, perform, and use sound for healing, dance, to awaken awareness, create art, photography, or divinely inspired tools. Did you get that? Oh, good, Blu-ray. So glad. Love Your Lives is hit once again. Excellent. So when you paint something, if you're going to start painting, put the damn camera on a tripod and film your painting and then fast forward it and upload it and sell the damn thing. Okay, I have a friend who actually does shamanic drums, and she paints, and she does like 2 minutes of her painting. You know, she fast forwards it, or she only slow. Halfway into the drum, she'll paint she'll upload 2 minutes with some cool music, and she'll sell that drum within 48 hours. I kid you not, at $600 a shot. The only person that's saying this isn't possible is your own monkey mind. And it's your monkey mind because your soul is infinite. It knows what's possible. Anything and everything is possible. From curing your own cancer to at some point going, fuck it, I'm ready to go home. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever a person decides, you have to meet them there. Talents could also be cooking food that heals body. Did you hear that? Cooking food that heals body. I have a client who actually is doing microbiotics. Okay? If I reject you wanting to join my live, it isn't personal, but I have when I invite someone, I invite ahead of time and I advertise it, just so you guys know. So it's not personal. Talents could also be cooking food that heals body and spirit, bringing people together, offering comforting and inspiring words at the right time, helping others overcome fear and feel more at peace in moments of importance, such as the time of passing over. Jeez, I've never read this card. Of passing over or going through an intense spiritual awakening during a life crisis, and even having the flair of expressing oneself creatively through color, clothing, or words and voice that inspires and uplifts those you encounter. Pretty awesome. Your soul will guide you as to the fun and fearless and constructive ways for you to express your divine abilities. When I did ayahuasca, my friends, the first time, I didn't want to wear black. I walked into that with a black sarong skirt, a little top, the whole bit, and blacks. Everything was black. By the time I was done with my first 24 hours, I was like, I can't wear black again. I wore all kinds of colorful feathers, this, that, and that. That was my new thing. I could not wear black. I had to wear an expression of Pachamama, right? Your role as a parent, helping to raise more conscious, secure, and empowered children in a world that is in desperate need of strong, spiritually grounded leaders for the future, could be another example. Yeah, you don't have to change the world, just change your kids. Help your kids be incredible light bringers who actually know they're badasses and know their voice is important. You can use your talents to create a vocation that truly inspires you and brings your light to the world, and you can use them in the line at the grocery store to generate love in that space. The point is, you use them. Did you hear? The point is, you use it. She gave you a whole list of shit you can do. You can go up to a woman and say, you are absolutely gorgeous. And she's 80. You are absolutely gorgeous. You can go to a man. I've done it. I sat next to a man at a Veda salon in the right before COVID. Young man. Could have been my son. And I said so. By the way, I said, before I say you hear what I'm about to say, you could be my son. Because I didn't want him to think I was a cougar. And I said, there's something, you are an amazingly gorgeous man. And your energy emanates out of you. You're an amazing soul. Wow. You're like a warrior shaman. But I'm not trying to come on to you. I wanted to make sure he didn't think it was sexual. Because there are women my age that are cougars. And he really appreciated that. Because most likely he was seen as a sexual object. And he needed to know that this was not about that at all. You understand? 80-year-old woman, 15-year-old little girl, that you can tell by the way she's pigeon-toed, she doesn't feel good in her body. And maybe her mom's standing there and you can say, may I give your daughter a compliment? This oracle comes to you with a message. You have spiritual talents, some of which have been developed in other lifetimes, and the expression of which will come naturally and easily for you again in this lifetime. Other talents may be more like seeds in the soul, needing a little more energy, investment, and attention, and patience to be brought forth. Like, you know what I want to do when I'm settled, is get myself a gong to start doing healing sessions with the gong. And I already know I know how to do it. How do I know? I don't know. It's the unspoken knowing. You are encouraged to reflect on the things that you are good at, that come naturally for you, and to consider how you might lean into those strengths in creative, constructive ways. As you commit to the process of developing your soul abilities, you will encounter phases of resistance that are part of the clearing process. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. Who the hell am I to think of I can like suddenly become an energy singer or an energy healer? Although this is not comfortable, it is actually a good sign of progress during times when you feel a sense of resistance to working on or with your talents. It may give your patience and perspective to imagine that your soul is steadily polishing off the obscuring sediments on a precious stone. Each time you patiently acknowledge the resistance but continue on your path of personal development and expression anyway, that precious stone gleams a little clearer and brighter. There may be quite a lot of spiritual polishing required, but if you understand that what is occurring, you will be less likely to turn away from the process out of fear, frustration, or doubt. Sorry about the noise. Another reason why I'm moving. Such resistance may arise as a shame of guilt, feeling selfish or self-indulgent in attending to the development of your abilities. Perhaps you feel too old for it, or not special enough, or secretly fear that you will be exposed as not good enough, and so would rather hold on to the fantasy of possibilities. I'm going to read this again. So you would rather hold on to the fantasies of possibilities rather than give it your all with courage and detachment. Maybe there is fear that your spiritual talent cannot be method by which your material needs are met, or that others will reject or deny your right to be who you are, trying to put you down or use you rather than love and accept you. You're going to come across all that shit. You're going to come across people who want to challenge you and who want to demean you and want to put you down and want to destroy your new light and want to hide it from them. In other words, don't expose your light to them. Believe me, you know when you know you've really kicked ass? When they come up to you and tell you they saw you on social media. You don't tell them. You let them tell you. Oh shit, I saw your video. It came on my feed. Well, I didn't know you believed in that. Yeah, uh-huh. You don't ask, well, what do you think? You don't ask them what they think. Who gives a fuck what they think? What matters is you've got, 2,000 people, 5,000 people, 100,000 people that think you fucking are a badass. That's what matters. You know why? Because those are your people. They're your tribe members. They found you. Right? Now listen to this. This is, or perhaps you need to acknowledge your own talents. You need to believe in yourself, the quality and standard of your abilities and your capacity to use them in a constructive, healing way. You will need confidence to begin, and especially if you feel wobbly in development and expression. You will need courage to continue. You cannot shine without the inelegant stumbles. So best be philosophical and have a kind of a sense of humor about this. If you fall on your face, laugh. You're like a toddler learning to walk. And if a toddler said, fuck this, I've fallen 100 times. Mom, give me a wheelchair. I'm not doing this. Walking doesn't work. That'd be absurd. If a toddler said, Mama, I don't walk. You go, no, kid, keep going. Of course you're going to fall. You're going to keep falling. One day you're going to run. You would never. And yet, that's exactly what you're doing. Whenever you do something brand new, you are a toddler. Every person I've ever heard about that was successful, they don't necessarily mean I admired them, but they were successful. Every single person. What does that mean, successful? In the material world, it means money. Okay, I'm sorry. But every single one that became a multi-millionaire said that they fucked up hundreds of times. The closer, in fact, as a matter of fact, the more you fail, the closer you are to winning. That's a sign. Oh shit, I fucked up 100 times. Great, I'm closer to winning. Don't allow moments of awkwardness to put you off the process. There is so much good to be gained by complete commitment to your process. Trust that there is something very real and worthwhile within you. Trust that there is something very real and worthwhile within you. This oracle comes to you with a specific message to not dismiss or diminish your potential. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself enough time, attention, and practice to discover what you are really capable of and to experience the enjoyment of expressing your eventual mastery. Do you understand? I remember working with kids. What I mean by kids is young adults in their 20s. And I would talk to parents. And the parents would say, yeah, they're going to college. They're changing their major. She came in to do psychology. Now she wants to be an attorney. Now she's looking at anthropology. And they would get frustrated. I'd say, that's a mark of intelligence. The kid's not a fucking robot. Your kid actually is thinking about this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? The kid is going to college and going, yeah, I thought I wanted to be an anthropologist. I'm really into law. Let me look at law. Oh God, I don't know about law. Yeah, that's a little tough. That's intelligence. That's curiosity. That's a kid trying to figure themselves out. That's a hell of a good sign. College isn't really anything else but figuring out who you are and what you want to do. Steve Jobs dropped out of college. He went, none of this shit's for me. I wouldn't say he failed. Not everyone is wired for this shit. Exactly. Shit, that's me. 10 major changes. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Exactly. This oracle also reminds you to do what makes you happy. Perfect line after what I just said. To chase your sacred bliss and express yourself in the world via the unique and special abilities that the divine has bestowed upon your soul, which, through your own hard work, you will continue to bring to radiant shining light. When you follow what you love from the heart, you are on your life path, and the universe rallies creatively, conspiring for your soul's success. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. That's it. That's it. When I ask people, what did you love when you were a kid? Like when I was 8 years old, I wrote my first short story. I also loved fashion. But the first thing I ever did as a child. So go back in your mind. What is it that you first did as a kid? Me, I had art all over my wall. I was an artist. And then I was a writer. 8 years old, first short story I ever did, called The Cobra. I'll never forget. So I ended up doing that. And then what was my interest? Well, reincarnation, past life stuff. That was my passion. The occult, metaphysical, actually, not the occult. Though I did dabble in the occult. It lasted maybe 2 hours. Because I saw how spells can boomerang back on you. So from that point on, I got into metaphysical, which is ancient. It's trillions of years old. It outranks the current religions we have. Nothing wrong with reading the Quran, the Torah, the Buddhist scriptures. I forgot the name on them. The Bible, and God knows what else. Nothing wrong with it. There's nuggets of beautiful jewels throughout all of these beautiful writings. But the metaphysical idea of who we are as spirituals and what is our spiritual compass is trillions of years old. It is a truth, undeniable. It's like mathematics, which actually it is mathematics. But anyway, I used to read long novels in elementary school, wanted to be a poet and an artist. Well, there you go. Wow, I needed this holy stars. Yes, I stopped going to college because it was taking a toll on my health. Well, yeah, sometimes it's not for everyone. Yeah, I went to college and took all sorts of fucking classes. And I was a speech pathologist. I was in law. I did all kinds of shit. And finally, what I kept going back to was printmaking, art, and writing. That has always been my passion. And on my own, there were no classes for spirituality, divination. There are no classes for that. So my classes was me, and working within myself, and meditation, getting downloads. And make sure, again, just a last message, because this is important. Make sure you are discerning between corrupt downloads, which are from fucked up entities, the kind of entities that are attracted to the Ouija board. I'm using it as an example because it's a no-brainer, because almost everyone I know has had a really crazy, scary experience with the Ouija board. So you know what I'm talking about if you've ever played with it. You end up not playing with it. You end up like throwing in the trash. It's something you want to burn because it's so freaking... So just understand this is real. You can get corrupt downloads. And you've got to be discerning. And it's really simple. If it feels icky, it's icky. It's that simple. It's not difficult. A 3-year-old could, it doesn't feel good in my belly. Good, sweetie, that's not for you. That's not for you. Tell me what that feels now. It feels really good. I like this crystal. It feels good. Well, what are you meditating? Well, I have a friend, and it's just and they tell you what it looks like, or you see an imaginary in your mind friend, but it's actually an entity, a light entity that's sitting there, smiling, or you're feeling them. You're not seeing them smile. You feel them, and it feels good. There you go. That's not a corrupt download, is it? It's divine. Believe me, I've had corrupt downloads. And they can make you pause for a sec. You're like, wait, hang on, what the fuck is this? I mean, what's happening here? Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? And you don't freak out. You don't stop because you got a corrupt download. It's like going down the wrong side of the street and going, oh shit, hello. Let me change directions here. I'm going down the wrong direction. There's nothing to freak out over. Seriously, nothing. You just change, you go back to the correct course, right? So yeah, Foxy was saying, I was just going to ask you how to tell. Yeah, no one with a half a brain moves with plays with that board. I stopped going to college and moved to Mexico. There you go, Catherine. That's fantastic. My son wants to go to Mexico, by the way. He wants to spend the winters there. So any questions that would, or anything that you want to share, like on a corrupt download, because that would really, really help a lot of people, because a lot of people get corrupt downloads and they stop. They go, fuck that, I'm out. I'll give you an example of also what else can happen. We've just discussed corrupt downloads, right? This is kind of a cool pattern. I can give you another one that scares the shit out of people. My father was a psychic, okay? And he was, I think he was 17, 18 years old, right before he was drafted into World War II. And he lived in New Jersey. And he came across a neighbor and a man, and he looked into his eyes as he was passing, and he got a complete download of the guy dying a certain way. And he didn't tell me how. He was so traumatized by it, he still didn't tell me. He never told me what he saw, but he saw the way this man would die. And 48 hours later, can't talk, the man died exactly how he saw it. And he told me that from that point on, he shut off that valve. He could not handle it. So when that happens, if that happens, some of you are going to channel. Some of you are going to be able to be telepathic, not just with your twin, with everybody. Some of you are going to have talents that are really being downloaded as you awaken from the slumber, the coma. And it's not here, it's not for you to be afraid. You are a Pony Express, you're the messenger. Your job is to go, whoa, okay, and to call on your archangels to protect you so that they can actually give you sacred space while you accept this new ability. This new ability. It is not for you. I'm being actually quite serious. I know you're going to hate me for this, because you're saying, who the fuck are you to tell me it's not for me? No. Let me explain. When divine source hands you a mission, a talent, it is not handed to you because you didn't already agree to it. It is handed to you because it was already predestined to have X, Y, and Z gift. I'm using a gift, but I hate that word gift in the realm of spirituality, because it then promotes an egoic framework wrapping around itself on that. It's more of like a mission. It's more like somebody giving you them, okay, you're awakened, Jessica, here's your mission. And you're like, wait, hang on, this is intense. Yeah, I know, we talked about this before you took on this incarnation. No, I didn't, I can't handle it. Yes, you can. We remember we talked about this. No, I can't do it. That's fear. And you need to, and that's why meditation and working on your chakras and doing all guided meditations, I really only will connect with, I have guided meditations, but the long guided meditations that I really love are with Dr. Joe Dispenza. My guided meditations are working on your chakras, if you notice. All of them, from womb healing to Ho'oponopono to all of that. Have you noticed that? I don't know if you've done some of them, but if you haven't, start with that, because it's like less than 10 minutes. Because Joe Dispenza's guided meditations can last 35 minutes, 78 minutes. They're all good. I highly recommend them. Because when you start getting completely opened up, the last thing you want to do is completely shut down. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me read some of your comments, guys. Sorry, because I look away when I talk, because or else this throws me off track. Let me read. I used to see shapeless form in the dark corner of my room. I got scared, so I turned it off. I was trying... it was terrifying to feel a body weight. No shit, it would be. But you can ask them, who are you? And if they are not good spirits, you can tell them to leave. Okay? I don't know what to do with my telepathy. I'm a reader and channel, but I don't know what to do with it. Just do it. What do you mean I don't know what to do? You just do it. Journal. Download. Does that make sense? Write. Automatic write. Share with the public. That's what you do with that. Channel what's going to happen next. Channel see what's happening. Channel what's going on in Gaza. Channel what's going on in China. Channel what's going on. I mean, remember, there was Tibet, I still refuse that Tibet is not its own thing, you know what I mean? So there's all kinds of things you can channel. Channel Native American people here. Channel, in other words, ask what you're supposed to channel. Ask divine source, you've given me these abilities, telepathy, channeling. So what am I supposed to, what would you like me to do? And put pen to paper and let them tell you through their pen. Make sure you have a huge 11 by 14 journal so you can write huge, so you're not constrained. Don't what is the word? Don't punctuate. Don't cross your T's. Don't dot your I's. Let it go. See what comes up. Hell, you might actually start channeling ancient dead languages. You may channel Aramaic. You may channel Phoenician. Right? Don't worry about it. It's auto writing. Okay, Foxy? Don't just sit there going, what do I do? Always be in action. And they'll tell you. So, yeah, it's auto writing on that case. But in her case, no, it would probably be channeling through the pen. And through the pen, she would actually get divine direction. And again, discernment. Is it divine? Or is it, like seriously? And they may want to fuck with you, Foxy, just so you know. They may actually come in with some weird stuff, and it's not divine, and you can tell them, I'm really straight up, get the hell out of here. I call on my 5 archangel. I repeated every life. Angel Michael, Metatron, Gabriel, Raphael, and Ezekiel. That's me. That's my team of 5. But you do what you want, you know what I mean? But it's time. It's time, Foxy. It's time. Just get it done. Just get divine guidance. They might give you a laundry list, for Christ's sake. You might have all kinds of shit to do for the next 6 months. You'll go, oh my God. I felt shut down since my TF awakening. Felt like I shot straight up to 5D and my gifts shut down. Well, if you shot to 5D, you wouldn't be shut down. Just so you know. So what you shot is so let me explain. So you don't feel like I'm not believing you. You got to the ceiling of bliss, and there was fear and despair and sadness or confusion. But if you were going into that consciousness, you would not shut down. And they're not your gifts. Again, I'm going to correct a lot of you guys. You don't say my gifts, okay? If you want to do this right, because one of the things that I had a hard time doing as a writer and as an artist is to call him, I kept thinking I was responsible. So of course I wasn't good enough. Why would I be good enough? But the minute I said I am a conduit, it changed the whole trajectory of the way I approached these tool sets given to me as a caretaker. I am a caretaker. How would you know if your crown is being opened? It's always opened. Sweetie, the crown, all your chakras are opened. That's a problem. And I'll tell you why. And they're blocked. They're opened and they're blocked to get gunk on them. So the way you know they're clear and cleaned, it's just like you would run and roll around the mud and then you take a shower with soap and water and you're clean, is the way you know it's open and clear. You work on them. And if you know they're blocked, you use any mantra, Sanskrit mantra, that is known to remove blockages. And you would do this mantra 3 times on each chakra at a minimum. But if you know, for example, your solar plexus highly blocked, you would work on your root chakra, all your chakras, right, till you hit your solar plexus, and you would maybe spend 5-10 minutes, part of your 20, 30, 40-minute meditation on that particular chakra. You'd say, you know what? I'm just going to spend as much time as I can doing this mantra on my solar plexus until I feel like it's clear, clean, bright, whatever color that is. It could be yellow for you, but it may not be. Okay, our chakras are shifting. We're through the ascension. We're going through the ascension process. But when you hit 5D, 6D, 7D, and so forth, because you can actually, because you go beyond the beyond, right? You're not going to fall back and not have your toolkit with you. Okay, so there's something going on when the TF awakening creates openings that can scare the shit out of people, or create despair or longing. Like it's pretty intense. And like my twin always says, there's no happy ending to a love affair. Why? Because one of you is going to die first. That's why. So everyone's so afraid of getting their heart broken so that they don't want to actually live their life while we have time. They're so afraid. Oh my God, I'm afraid my heart. Yeah, I know. Your heart's going to break again and again and again. Read The Prophet by Khalil Gibran about pain. Fucking brilliant. The man was brilliant. Again, The Prophet. Every man, woman, and child should have that book. When I had friends who gave birth to babies, I would give that as a gift. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. That was the book I gave to people when I was in that age group of mothers having babies. After our past life regression, I was tossing and turning all night. Is that normal? It can be, yeah. Om Namah Shivaya, perfect. I don't know what the future holds. No one does. That's why it's exciting. You know why? Because it's exciting because we have free will, right? So the reason why manifestation works in 3D is because we actually have multiple pathways to our incarnations. And so the future, you don't know what the future holds, because there are multiple roads. If you've ever used your GPS, you'll see there's 3 roads. But okay, right? There's this road that's going to take 5 hours, this road that's more scenic, and this road that's on the freeway. And there's an accident ahead, but it's going to save you 15 minutes, right? Okay, well, that's the same in these incarnations, except instead of 3 roads, we have multiple. And so what we want to project and co-create with the universe is the path that is more in line with our frequency and what we feel we deserve. Does that make sense? And some of the challenges that we have in these incarnations is really entrenched in dogmatic beliefs that we're not good enough or we don't have enough power. And it is really a fucked up habit. I struggle with that. And it comes from multiple incarnations and failures of my incarnations. You know what I mean? Not just the trauma in this incarnation. Forget that one. Though, you know, and believe me, it doesn't touch a lot of people here on this particular live. You have had much more intense traumas in your early childhood than I did. I know that already. Okay? In respect to you guys, to some of you where that resonates. But many of us have carried trauma from other incarnations, and some of the trauma of some of our incarnations that is lodged in our inability to believe that we can manifest a better life, having it all. Oh, you can't have it all. Yes, you can. You sure in the hell can. Because my idea of having it all is not your idea of having it all. Maybe your idea of having it all is being at on a private jet to Paris for the fashion shows. Mine might be a beautiful cabin by the river, and I'm growing vegetable, and I have 5 horses, and I'm a grandmother, and I'm with my beloved twin flame, and we're having a beautiful, like, Italian south of France luncheon outside with a white. That for me is having it all. See, everyone's idea of abundance is different. That's the beauty of our individuality. And again, there's nothing wrong with a private jet going to a French fashion show. Nothing. Because even in that realm, there are people who are highly spiritual. You know what I mean? It's not surface. Does that make sense? So when you say, I don't know where the future holds, yes, you do. You're a co-creator of it. Oh, the book is called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Khalil, I'm gonna respond to you personally. Okay, right now, The Prophet. Every person should have that book in their library, and I might be spelling Khalil Gibran wrong, but you'll find it. You just Google it and you'll find it. I struggle with deserving that, and therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. You struggle with that's honest though. That's huge. You know how huge that is, Canary, to actually say I struggle with that. I remember when my husband told me I'm afraid of winning. I'm like, what? We'd been married like 15 years. What? I was in shock. I was like, what the fuck? Are you for real? You're afraid of winning? Guy was 6'2", green eyes, chocolate skin, gorgeous, the kind of man that walked in a door and women would drop their you know what. Gorgeous, stunning, with the face of a lion. The most beautiful man I'd ever seen, besides my twin. Afraid to win. But then again, who am I to judge today? Because I was afraid to lose. I was afraid of failure. But I wanted to win. So what I'm going to say to you is that when you say, honestly, I'm not deserving, great. So don't do it for you, Canary. Do it for that little girl. Look down at the little girl version of Canary. Little Canary. She's 5 years old. She's looking up at you with expectant eyes. Go win for her. Go win for her. Do it for her, if not for you. That's why I tell all my clients, on your altar, have 2 pictures. One of you is a baby, because who doesn't love a baby? And one of you that you can't stand of yourself at the age of, I don't care, up until 16, I don't care. Picture of you, a picture you hate because it represents some shit you had to deal with. Because that's the girl, or boy, excuse me, or a little boy that you need to love. And do it for her, Canary. Okay? No, I'm not doing yes or no questions. I'm sorry, it's the wrong life for that. But does that make sense? I'm afraid of winning. I get it. Yeah. And you would get it because you're afraid of winning, and that's your consciousness. And about, I'd say 15% of people are afraid of winning, of having it all. They're afraid. So Canary, that's your homework. If you don't have that altar set up, you better do it. Giddy up and go. And I want a picture. Text me a picture. And you know I know you. I want proof. Proof of life. Okay? That's your homework. Thanksgiving? Yeah. Giving to yourself. Okay? I was in the car driving this morning. Out of nowhere, I went, what the fuck are you afraid of? Oh my God, fantastic. What a great, great awakening. What a great awakening. Which results in my announcement. I totally forgot on the heels of that. My book, Recall, is up for sale on Amazon. And I will actually set up a link on I'm going to do a video and set up a link so that you guys, if you want to buy it, it's $11.11. Of course it is. Why would I not sell it for $11.11? That's a no-brainer. And I would ask you to buy the print copy because it's 6x9 and it's a nice fat little book. It's 303 pages. It's got a book club questionnaire on the back. It's a creative nonfiction. And it was based, and so when it was first published in 2012, I had the publisher, I was published, a publishing house published it. And I published it as a fiction because I thought, well, people are going to be more inclined to believe this shit if it's fiction. And I have to say I had some really good reviews on Goodreads. But then I went ahead and came out of the closet with that book and said, yeah, this is a true story. And it's based on Mesopotamia. It's very erotic and it's very intense. It is a creative nonfiction. So as you know, in downloads, when you have past lives, there's a lot of missing parts. So I had to flesh it all out. But everything that is in the present tense actually happened as it happened. Everything you'll see in the present absolutely happened as it happened. But what I might have fleshed out was many things in the book. And you can ask me, if you read the book, what was real in the ancient past life. It's set in Mesopotamia. I forgot if it's 3,500 years ago, 3,600 years ago, but anyway, it's set. And yeah, it's an interesting book if you like romance novels, but the only thing is it's a true story. That's the only. And yes, there was a lot of, can't wait, I have to order it to my mom and then she mailed it to me in Costa Rica. Oh, cool. I like paper copies. Good. Can you share the name again? It's called Recall, and Recall Tony Barca. And don't worry, I'm going to post it today. And on the comment section will be a link. Because if you try to find me, you won't find me. You'll find an old copy that says Taj Barca. And I'll make sure to say that. Don't buy that copy. Because it's an old version that somehow, it's being resold for $25. That's not it. It's 11.11. I kid you not. So it's called Recall. Here, I'm going to give it to you right now. I'm going to publicly, here. It's called Recall by Tony Barca. And it's a quick romp. There's a couple things I realized. I was reading the book going, oh shit, I was never a nude dancer. That's the only thing I wrote in it. I was never a nude dancer at the Opera Theater, but I knew girls who were. I had girlfriends who were topless dancers in the Opera Theater. I was like 20, 21. But the rest, yeah, it's all true. And I've changed the way we looked. I changed the names. I changed all that just to protect people's privacy. But when you see Daniel in the book, that's totally my husband. It's all husband. And when you see Malik, I met him exactly as I describe it, Malik. So it's an interesting. I was reading some of the pages, And my twin was talking to me, and I was completely absorbed, and I went, damn, this is kind of good. And I remember, and I'm not saying that, you may hate it, actually. You may think, oh my God, this is such slop. And it could be. Not everything is for everyone. But the next book I'm working on is called Yoni Healing Lingam Love, and this is a healing book. And it will have a chapter on twin flames, but it will not concentrate on twin flames. It will be about healing us, healing ourselves, healing our root chakras, healing our sexual traumas, healing all of that. Because I was surprised to see so many young people who have incredibly intense sexual trauma. I was shocked. I would think with being the 21st century, you guys would be free, having a great time, being freed from all that crap. And no, I was shocked because I work with young clients. Anyway, so any other questions or comments? All right. I'm going to do one last oracle reading. And this is from this, it's a very short, but it's nice to polish it off with that. It's called Sacred Traveler by Denise Lynn. Okay. And I'm going to shuffle the cards. You know the drill. And I want you to pick from the bottom, middle, or top. Bottom, middle, or top. This is very, very, very short. You were going to explain what a twin ray is. Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm off the tracks here. A twin ray, and I explain to it all, I talk about it all the time, but a twin ray is akin to Mary Magdalene and Yeshua on a very, very high level of consciousness. Krishna and Radha on the highest level of consciousness. On lower consciousness, but still very powerful. You have Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks. And I'm not sure, I'll shuffle in a minute. I just want to answer that question. Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks. And there's a couple that teach meditation. The book is called Radiant Sutras, and I don't know their name, but they're called Radiance. The book is called Radiant Sutras. Camille and something Roche, they're twin rays. I know that for a fact because I took their class on meditation and I saw them together. Those are twin rays. They're in mission to the public, with the world. They teach meditation all over the world. Paul Orand, my instructor when I took my my hypnotherapy training. Paul Orand and his wife are twin rays. And they probably don't even, I'm pretty sure they know they're twin flames. In their minds, they're using the word twin flame, I believe. I've never had the kahunas to tell them, hey, you guys are twin rays. Because I don't think they would give a shit anyway. Because twin rays don't have a lot of problems. They don't deal with too much egoic. So all of them share one common thing. Did you notice what I said? They all share one. I want to make sure you guys understand. Did you notice what they share, all of them? All four of them? The common ground of a twin ray is that they're highly conscious, fully aware of their egoic framework, and in service to humanity. All of them. And that's what makes them twin rays. And we are definitely not that. We are twin flames, aren't we? And the twin flame difference is the shit show that many of us are suffering. For whatever reason, ayahuasca had told me that I would be in union with my twin. There were two messages I got, but the last message, the following year when I went back to see ayahuasca, I got that I would be in union with my twin. But I didn't believe it because, things obviously were not going in that direction. And now we're in union. And it's going very well. And I got my first trigger yesterday, and we both went through that trigger together, and we did very well. Thank God. So, any other questions on that? Do you now know what a twin ray is, KZ? So, but just to, there is sacrifice, just to warn you. Great, thank you. I know. All right, let me see. Anamika, there is sacrifice in the book. Zale, just look up Yeah, don't look it up. Look it up on my pages, because some of the breakdown of what a twin ray is not, no offense, not accurate. Okay. The only other person I would trust you to talk about twin ray, or to find out about twin ray, would be on Mel Brand's golden ray. But yeah, so look it up on my profile. I have twin rays. I explained it. But I'm not sure why you're confused. I'm confused that you're confused. There's this hard line between twin flames and twin ray. It's a hard line. So I'm kind of confused that you're confused. Tell me what's confusing, because that to me is so obvious. You know what I mean? Twin flames is the shit show we see. Separation, running, toxicity, bullshit, addiction, abandonment, betrayal, lies, fear, jealousy, ownership, right? That's definitely not a twin ray. He was a great educator, Mel Brand. Yeah, he was a very good. He was the real deal. And if you notice, I lean more towards that kind of truth telling than the bullshit of the Barbie and Ken story that I keep seeing talked about. You know, and also I'm a believer in that you might need one or two healers as you go through this, journey. Some of the healers can be sacred medicine. Some of the healing can be hypnotherapy. I'm a huge proponent of hypnotherapy. I think it's amazing. If anyone's gone through a hypnotherapy with me, if you're on this live now, if you're willing to share, because I still think that hypnotherapy is badass. It's like taking 3 years of bullshit and distilling it into 2 hours and telling you understand things that were hidden from you. I have none of that with my twin. We communicate daily and visit weekly. He's always been kind. Yeah, but kindness is one, again, no offense. I don't know if he's a twin flame. No offense. Kindness, there's more to kindness than that. But it could be, but you're not living together. So the question to me, and what I've noticed to you, actually not to me, is that the twin rays are usually together. And Amanika is so generous, she's sharing. It just gave me the confidence and helped me to reduce the fear and confusing about my abilities. Exactly, right on. So she actually did a hypnotherapy with me a couple days ago. And it was beautiful. And many of you, I'm sorry about the noise. Let me go in. I'm so annoyed with this. Oh, God, this is another reason why I'm moving, because of the noise. So what I'll say is that when you go into hypnotherapy, the subconscious goes right and opens the portals to the soul, and the soul isn't here to berate you with fear. I mean, it's still fully, available to you, the ego. As a matter of fact, I've told clients that you can go pee if you want to. You'll still come back. You'll come back into that mode of surrender. And still, the ego will try to edit what's being shown. My job as a hypnotherapist is to allow you to express it. And then afterwards, when you integrate the journey, we talk about it. Because it can be a little... You went right back. Yes, you did. You went right back. And you saw your hands a certain way, and I let you go with it, but I already knew you were editing. I could tell. Because you were hesitating, and I could feel it. And that was funny, because when we were done and we integrated the session, right, after her session, we talked about the hand and what it meant. I know, exactly. Anamika's laughing. So hypnotherapy is a journey of such beautiful clarity. And I started doing hypnotherapy, with a hypnotherapist when I was 32. And for 25 years, I must have sent her 50, 60 people. And there were only 2 people that couldn't go under. Some of them were atheists. She said, I saw 3 fingers, but lying, I saw 5, and she knew it. Yes, I knew you had seen three fingers. I saw it because as you described that hand with the black fingernails and the tanned yellow, orange skin, I knew it. I knew it. It was, I could actually see what you were seeing. It was weird. In a beautiful way. Beautiful, weird. So, the two people that didn't go through it, one was, no offense, a narcissist, and the other one was my mother. And the people I had sent to this hypnotherapist didn't believe in God or didn't believe in reincarnation or didn't believe in, but they all went under into past lives. And many of them had to, in fact, it's in my book, Recall. I talk about it. I'm telling you, you'll see. Has there any hypno session that scared you, Tony? No. I had a hypnotherapy session where I needed to understand why this man was in my life. There was this other man. And I actually, I wanted to, I was dying. I hung myself. I was 7 months pregnant, and it was 1820s. I could tell by again, I love fashion, right, through history. So I could tell by the clothes that it was about the 1820s, 1817, around that time. And I went through it. I died. I went through the whole exact, and how I was found, the baby still moved, all of that. It was pretty intense. And I realized that there was no way in hell this man was going to become my lover and I was going to loop back into the hamster wheel of that bullshit. That was done. That's why hypnotherapy is interesting, because for me personally, it gave me clarity. I talk about it a lot. 4 past lives with this guy, 3 suicides. I was like, yeah, we're done. Done. And another past life that I had was I was a Russian person, a young man, and Jewish. And it was during the Bolshevik times, I got 1909, or I wasn't sure though, to be honest. But I was pulled out into the snow and execution style. And I was like, why? But it gave clarity to my anxiety, because the anxiety went away. Another time, recently as a matter of fact, I was a little 12-year-old girl in Palestine. That's why, and it made sense to me, because guess what? From the age of 10 years old, all the way now, I've had my eye on Palestine. My whole entire, life, actually. And then recently, with my healer, out of nowhere, I got a remembrance of it. And I died at 12, 1948. So then at that point, so past lives are really interesting, because they can give you a sense of, oh, that's why I'm afraid of that. Oh, that's why I feel connected to that. Oh, that's why. Right? And the only past lives that come, like I had another past life, it was brutal. I was a Viking, warrior. I was big, powerful. I must have been like 6'5". I'm not joking. Powerful. I was a complete a-hole. And I used to beat the hell out of my wife. Just saying. Loved her to pieces. When she died, I came to visit her and she was so relieved I was dead. It made me sad. I couldn't understand that. Can you imagine the consciousness? But I was that man. Because I wanted to be respected by my men. Because I was a leader. And I often wondered, and there's a couple past lives I could share that was pretty brutal. And I was like, why in the hell would I think? It was for me to understand the masculine, that I too had embodied the toxic masculine. It was important for me to understand it so that I wouldn't just point fingers at it. Does that make sense? So, my cat Ian is calling for for my son. He's very codependent. Anyway, so hypnotherapy is kind of intense, and for Anamika, I think it was very soft, right? I don't think it was intense for you. I think it was soft. Don't you think? You got knowledge you needed. And when you get the recording, when you listen to that, it'll give you more and more downloads. You know what I mean? No, but I'll do it again. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Samantha. So it's really, I think I need to learn to trust it. Yes, you just let it roll. You gotta tuck it in. It's like sacred medicine. When I did ayahuasca, I remember I got thrown. The first time I ever did, I got all these like weird you know, sacred geometry, colors, but then there was little masks, ghoulish mask. And I remember, and I knew, I don't know how I knew she was testing me, Spirit of Pachamama. And so I tucked in. I just literally tucked into it, and boom, it exploded into the magic of unconditional love. So she was testing me to pierce through fear. I'm interested in soul retrieval. I feel incomplete. Yes. So Zale, there's a guided meditation on my YouTube, literally called Soul Retrieval Guided Meditation. You'll see a blue-eyed boy, young man, beautiful face, and just scroll all the way down and you'll find it. It's on my YouTube channel. Try that first. It's free. And the first time you might do it, you might not get to it. Do it a couple times and let me know what happens, okay? Do that first. I'm always about giving free suggestions before you guys invest in working with someone like me. Because if you can do it for free, then I've done my mission in teaching you, or no, not teaching you, guiding you to your own empowerment. But if you need more, like what I do as a hypnotherapist, right, as a psychic hypnotherapist, is I'm here to make sure that you journey deeper, right? And Amika is like you were having visions and we were asking a lot of questions to make sure you stayed with that vision, right? So we could get a complete idea and then go on to the next, right? So that's the purpose of a hypnotherapist. The hypnotherapist is your guide. The hypnotherapist makes sure that you're not going to just go on a tangent of downloading all kinds of past lives, and there's no, in other words, we're not fleshing out what's happening. I had a past life regression of a woman who's had a lot of problems with men. Men have really fucked her over, right? And bad, okay? And so she's my age now. And so we did a hypnotherapy session, and the first image we saw was of a young 12, 13, 14-year-old girl. Somewhere in Scotland, it felt like 1800s, probably 1850s. And her mom's really hard and really angry that she married. Apparently she was forced to marry, probably got pregnant. All of that came out after the hypnotherapy with the integration of what had just happened. So anyway, she's seeing herself as this young girl. And she's all excited, cleaning the cabin, right? Cleaning the cabin by the sea because her father's coming to visit. So apparently he's a sailor. If you know anything about fishermen, sometimes they would be gone for weeks and then they come back. Or whaler. He might have been a whaler. Anyway, so he came back and he just loved her. He just loved her the way a father should love his daughter. He respected her in her femininity. You know, it wasn't like he was disappointed and wanted a son. Do you see? Again, remember, 1850s, thereabouts. The following incarnation she had after this life, it just ended. It just morphed into the next. And suddenly she's looking down at her boots and she's by a whatchamacallit, a carriage, if you will, like a wagon. That's what it was. It was a wagon. And the wheel was broken. The wheel had come off again. And I said, if you can, look at yourself. Can you see a mirror reflection? She was a bearded man with a hat. And it was France, 1870s, 1890s, right? Thereabouts. And she was happily married to a very pretty woman who was his wife. And they had an amazing marriage. And again, you would have thought these timelines that I just described would have shown a misogynist masculine. Instead, she was able to see masculine expressions that were beautiful, one being her father and one being herself. She had been a good man, a loyal man, a monogamous man, a hardworking man, a man who cherished his wife. And as we went to 20 years forward, we saw his daughter visiting. He'd been harmed. He'd been hurt. I guess it was an accident. And he was on his deathbed. And I said to her, do you want to see what happened? She said, no, I don't want to see myself dying. I went, okay, let's pull back. And we pulled back. Right? There's no right or wrong. Okay? Contrasting with me saying, yeah, let's go all the way. Let me see what happens. You know? She wasn't ready for that. But what the takeaway for her was the fact that she had seen the example of the divine masculine in action. One being her father, which is probably the most important person that can become the divine masculine because it sets up the whole foundation. And herself being a beautiful divine masculine. And I'm pretty sure She's healing that wound. Because as long as she believed that it was impossible to find a good man, that would become her reality. But the minute she realized, wait, hang on, I've been that good man. Yeah, hello. You sure in the hell are a hell of a good man. Good provider for your family. She realized that she had been that. Hence, she could attract that to her. See, that's an example of hypnotherapy and the magic. Any questions or shares? And thank you, Wendy, for sharing the live. I really appreciate that. Any questions on that? Okay. You're thinking about it, huh? A collective thinking. What I will say to you is when you're attracted to a country, it's because you've been there before in a past life. Go there. You might need to do a soul retrieval going there. You know what I mean? Go there. It could be Egypt, it could be Scotland, it could be Ireland, it could be France, it could be China, somewhere in China, right? Nepal, wherever. South America, Peru. It could be that you need to make peace with that part of the world, retrieve a part of yourself in that part of the world, or simply get re-energized from that part of the world. But what you're attracted to is attracted to you. Well, you already know that. But that includes what interests you. Like I have a friend of mine who adores the ocean. She takes cruises. And she makes sure that her windows are right up in the ocean. In other words, that's all she sees, the expanses of the horizon and the ocean. And it's extremely healing for her. The ocean, right? She's all over the place, but it's the ocean. And there's something about it that she needs, right? And so when you doubt a desire, a feverish desire to go travel somewhere, don't fight it, plan it. You don't fight that. Do a vision board. Do whatever the hell you have to do to raise the money. If money is an issue, to raise the money to get your ass out of there, into that part of the world. That's what I loved about D, my friend who passed on Sunday. He would work 6 months, gather all his money, roll up his clothes in a knapsack, and travel. And he traveled all over the world. And then when he needed money, he'd come back and do what he needed to do, and then go back out there. And he took photos. He would sell his art. He would ask for donations to help him. He was not afraid to ask for help. That's something I love about him. He never was afraid to say, listen, I need X, Y, and Z. I need to sell my art. Will you buy my art so I can do X, Y, and Z? I've always been called to South Korea. I went, came back to the States. I met TF, who was from there. Exactly. There you go, Nicole. You can't make this shit up. And you needed to go there, apparently, for a reason before you would meet the twin. Does that make sense? So, Constantine, thank you for... Konstantinos, I love it. Thank you for sharing the live. Anybody that shares... When you guys see me on the live, if you share it, that'd be great, because I've been shadow banned. I'm having way too many clients tell me, I'm not getting notice that you're on live. I'm not getting any notice. So there's definitely a shadow banning happening. I don't know why. I haven't said anything politically incorrect. But you never know, because everything's politically incorrect. Everything. Fucking sneezing. I remember a funny joke I gotta tell you that you'll laugh your ass off. Oh my God, I just remembered it. You know how we were on the COVID lockdown? Anyway, there's a joke that came around. I forgot again. Where I wish I could give credit to where it's due, but there was a joke. Hang on, let me gather my thoughts on this one. It's so funny. It said, there was a time when we coughed to cover our farts. Now we fart to cover our coughs, because people were so paranoid. If you coughed or sneezed, they'd look at you like you were a leper. Anyway, I was always called to the Middle East, and my twin is from there. I know. No, did you guys get that? We used to cough to cover our farts. Now we fart to cover our coughs. Exactly. I love that joke. I visited his hometown, which isn't a common area to visit for tourists. It is wild to think about that. That's really cool. And the Middle East, yeah, I've been wanting to visit Lebanon. By the way, Khalil Gibran, who I turned somebody onto, Zale, I think I forgot but the Prophet by Khalil Gibran, he was born in Lebanon. And when he died, he lived in New York City. And when he died, Fifth Avenue was closed off. And there was a massive cortege. That's how respected and loved he was by New Yorkers, okay? And then his body was shipped in Lebanon. And it always makes me sad to think that they probably blew up his site. That makes me so sad. But Anthony Bourdain, who I adored for his irreverence and for his just can-do attitude. Anyway, he did a show in Lebanon. Parts Unknown, I think, or Without Reservation. I forgot which one, but you can look it up. Anthony Bourdain, and then put Lebanon. Oh my God, fucking hysterical. And then he did one on Palestine. The man was amazing. I have 2 of Kiban's books. Good morning from Australia. Hi, Paulie. His father's from Lebanon, mother from my country, Slovakia. That's pretty cool, actually. Those are great DNA combinations because you get all kinds of DNA. Think of DNA as quartz crystal, that whole memory bank of lineages that go back thousands of years. And when you combine those type of DNAs, you're getting multiple stories going on at once, and you do multiple lineage healing. You're doing 2 strands, 2 pathways. Forget strands, excuse me. I don't want to confuse anyone. 2 pathways of healing. So when you have people that have multiple mixtures, that is a badass thing because in a way, and when I mean mixtures, I don't mean just racial. I also mean different genetic lineages, like Irish, Scottish, French, Irish, Scottish, Moroccan, Sudanese, and Indian. And so now we're going, and half black, half white, half, a quarter of Italian, a quarter Irish, a quarter Palestinian, and a quarter Lebanese. All of that. My mom is Filipino, Spanish, and my father is Australian. There you go. Scotland, Yugoslavia, Africa over here. Beautiful. There you go. So all of these pathways are lineages of that's begging for healing. In other words, many of you who chose these mixed, but I have biracial in my background as well. And so there's a lot of bloodlines in mine as well. And when that happens, you're like fast tracking healing for multiple lineages. You know what I'm saying? Chinese black, Japanese white, half Jewish, half Scottish, all of that. And in French, it's called métissage, which in reality means half linen, half cotton. It's a threading, but it's a weave. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's all about the ocean for me in Italy. Yes, Jen. I Irish, Scottish, and French. There you go. And each one, Irish, Scottish, French, have incredible, powerful lineages and stories. And the Irish are badasses. They don't give one fuck. They're incredibly irreverent. They I don't know if you know that about your Irish history, but they up until Christianity took real hold of Ireland, they would gather once a year, the men and women, and they would decide whether or not they'd be married again or not. They would divorce on the spot, take new partners. Did you know that? Scottish, look at what they went through. The French, they're revolutionaries. You know how many revolutions the French have had? How many upheaval? It's in their bloodline. They're like, fuck you. I don't want to retire at 65. I'm doing it. Anything you say wrong with the French, and I can say that because I'm half French. I was born in France. When Macron said, don't protest for Palestine, they fucking went crazy and went, okay, ceasefire. Okay, I'm going to say I think the French and the Irish, anyway, they're badasses. The Italians, they don't give a fuck. If there's no wine and bread in the conversation, they're like, what's wrong with you? They're incredibly generous. They will kiss you and hug you like you're their family, like right on the spot. They don't know you from Adam. And they will plunk down a bowl of pasta. The minute you walk in, there's pasta boiling. I'm not kidding. That's not a thing. It's a thing, okay? And I remember because when I lived in Italy as a kid, I remember sleeping in between the mom and the father, and nothing inappropriate, just good people. I was one of their kids it was it's just incredible people. And yeah, so that's what I know about those parts of the world. Korean, Puerto Rican, Irish. That's a hell of a... See, my mom from Ukraine, my father from Slovakia, his father from Lebanon. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, so when we embody those bloodlines and we're proud of it, it's really beautiful. And you're ending up you're on the fast track to healing multiple You know what they're showing me? They're showing me somebody doing the ropes. You know how you shake the ropes when you're bodybuilding or lifting weights? And they're showing me all these ropes that you're holding, and all of the healing that you yourself individually are doing is impacting all of these bloodlines you embody today. Korean, Puerto Rican, Irish, Sudanese, Irish, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's all going at once. Okay? And that's the fast track. Because for a while, some of us were home. Well, look at some of the people in the jungles of the Amazons. They're homogeneous, right? There's only one bloodline, for all we know, right? There might be a Spanish thrown in here and there, but for the most part, right, they're all one lineage. And it's a different type of consciousness. And it's interesting, too. Be interesting to see what that's about, too. Yeah, so we embody all of that for a reason. And, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Find your joy, Nicole, like the live. Thank you, and Mika. Anything else that you guys want to share? Let me see. So I want to thank you. I'm going to be getting ready. I'm going to do a very, very modest Thanksgiving dinner. And in respect to what happened, thank you. Great live. Thank you. In respect to what happened and why we ended up doing... You didn't miss it. I'll upload it on YouTube. It's cool. It was an interesting live, actually, I would think. But we're going to... the Thanksgiving isn't a Thanksgiving in the way you think. I'm thankful I have the people that I love surrounding me. So it's not thanking, and it just happens to be a day where collectively everything's closed, right? And so, but one of the things I will say to you that I do teach my clients, and I know it's weird to say teach, but bear in mind, there's another thing that I used to do, and I'm going to start doing it more and more once we are established in our home, in our new home, is Sunday dinner. And so when my son was growing up, we had Sunday dinner. I'm talking about white tablecloth, Irish linen. I got in an antique store, napkins, everything shiny, and beautiful plates, everything set up. In other words, a correct table setting for a holiday, except it was Sunday dinner. And my 23-year-old son still remembers that. So doing things like that with no TV on, obviously, and moving into connecting with your family on that level is super, super important. When the weather was good, we'd set up outside in the garden, because I'm a gardener. And so we would eat outside in the garden the way you see Italians eat. I've always spent holidays alone, wine, chips, and okay, well, Zale, you need to have friends that you can invite on an open house. And because there are so many people that are single that actually could use each other. You know what I'm saying? So you want to, if not with, family, then go ahead and see, not now, obviously, but maybe think about Christmas and go and invite. You say, look, from the hours of 12 to 5, I have an open house. Bring wine, bring whatever you want, and see what happens. It's funny how we've lost our ability to connect. Do you know that in the old days in New York City, they would have rent parties? And a rent party was when a person And this was before I was born, okay? Take note, okay? So when people say, oh, that's beyond my time, I don't remember, it's like bullshit. These are shit you learn from other people and you pass it on to the next generation. But anyway, rent parties where people said, I'm broke, I have no money for the rent. And everybody would come to this person's apartment. They'd have a trash can in the opening, it was a can, and people would just shove money in the can and bring wine and food, and they'd have a cocktail party, but it was called a rent party. Love that idea. Connection is key. Exactly. So you have it. So when I grew up, my parents would have open houses for New Year's, and my dad, because again, my dad was, I don't even want to talk about it, but his qualities were very diametrically opposed, but one of the qualities that were amazing is he fucking knew how to party. And so, but what he was a simplistic man. All you would have is like 3 cases of very expensive champagne and beluga caviar. This is when beluga caviar was available, and in those days it was $1,000 a tin. But anyway, people knew he was going to have a beluga caviar party, and fucking people came out of the woodworks. And he'd have mother of pearl spoons, and people would be given their mother of pearl spoons and whatever the hell they wanted with their caviar, and people would get fucking plastered. But rent party sounds very New York. It is. So a rent party was a way for people to collectively help an actor, a painter, a writer, or whatever. It was a thing. People did that shit. And did you notice that we've lost our ability to be communal with each other? So an open house party in your apartment is what you invite all your fucking neighbors. People, you knock on the door. Hey, I'm going to have an open house. You're welcome to it. And it's a potluck because you probably some of you may not have the budget to lay out a spread. And you do it. It's weird how we do it in offices, which is, I don't want to have a fucking party with you. I don't even know you, but I don't want to know you. They're paying me for me to know you, but I'm kidding. But you would go ahead and set up something that makes you happy. You'd invite some of your coworkers that you really dig, that you really like, and you'd invite family members, and you just say from 12 to midnight. Bring booze, bring food. It's like. And you're good to go. And bring pot if that's illegal in your state. Of course, I got to say that. But that is what gets us back to community. And because we're so used to thinking that Netflix and Haagen-Dazs ice cream is going to make it. I was forced to celebrate my birthday to work, and when I declined, I got the "you're not a team player." What the fuck? You're not a team. It's my birthday, a-holes. People have a lot of nerves. But Zale, if you like being alone, it's all good. But I'm saying that for other people who are lonely, because you can be alone and not lonely, like I'm one of these people, but some people are actually lonely being alone. So for you guys that want to also create community and spiritual community, your tribe members, you may want to do that. That's what's really big about, which I love about Dee and his friends and the community in Glastonbury. They're very, very, very communal. And that's what I love about the English. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them. Very much like the Italians, very much like the Southern, not the French, not the Parisians so much, but the French people down in the southern part. Though I remember my aunt, people bringing something. One brought the baguette, one brought the red wine, 2 bottles of red wine. One brought the dessert, the other one did this, the other, you know what I mean? And then we all get together, all of us were broke, eating, and sharing whatever we had. So there's something about doing that we've lost, and it's really joyous. And it's not so much about the food or or whatever the hell you guys are doing. It's about sitting together and breaking bread. It's a symbol, and we've lost that. Me and my dogs. Well, you can invite other people too if you trust them. So that's what I would suggest. And then I was going to do an oracle, but I have to go. So I like hanging out with seniors, yoga, tai chi, etc. No pressure to fit in. Exactly. But you don't have to fit in with anyone. It's not about fitting in. See, this is what don't fit in. You're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to have fun. Okay? You're supposed to have fun. So it's an open house. People are walking in, having a glass of champagne, a glass of wine, whatever the hell they're doing, right? And or not, or cider or apple juice or whatever the hell you have. Just make sure you got it all covered. And then before you know it, you've got community. Yeah, we need community. We do. I'm an introvert, but sometimes even I get lonely and I crave a small get together for sure. Well, then make it happen. Make it happen. It may be too late. It may be too late for Thanksgiving, but it may not be. You may say, ask all your people that you know who are single, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Hey, you want to come over for, and then just do a potluck Thanksgiving. I love that and missing it. Used to do it with my younger days. Yeah. And younger days, senior days, older days, let's do it again. As soon as I'm settled, right, I'm planning to do that kind of of invitation. I haven't gotten any response to my book club flyer. Yeah, people are just pathetic and apathetic. But keep going, keep going because it's weird. I had one of my clients and friends go out to a sound healing frequency thing that he goes to, and he also made an announcement for the book club, the spiritual book club, and no one raised their hand. And I said, how did they make you feel? He said that they're full of shit. I go, bingo. The meaning of Maya, you're going to have to look at I'm going to post this video on YouTube, and I already did the whole Maya thing. I actually spoke about it in the earlier, and I don't want to repeat it because it's there. I love book clubs. Yeah, but book clubs where people meet. They've made movies about book clubs, for Christ's sakes. The Jane Austen book club, the this book club, the that book club. Everyone wants to watch the movie, but no one wants to live it. There's something wrong with that. Nicole joined mine. Lol. Yeah. Okay, so Zale has a book club. So, I don't know, join her. Do a Zoom. Do a FaceTime. You're probably better off with Facebook or Zoom. But yeah, do it. Zoom book club. Yeah, until you guys can meet. The end result of why I've been pushing book clubs is not so much doing Zoom, though if that's all you guys can do, it's fuck. But okay, that's better than nothing. But it's to meet at a cafe. To have a cafe. You know what I mean? To have a cappuccino. And to sit for 2-3 hours and talk about a book and then get up. I'm in Sacramento, so... Oh, shit. I know, so am I. Sacramento. I don't know what to say about Sacramento. I really don't. Good idea. It's a start. Exactly. I don't know. Makes me... I think I'm being pushed to maybe do one, but I won't be here for long. That's the thing. I'm going to be... Probably, if I'm lucky, I'll be out of here in a month. Less than that. If everything is happening, I'll be gone. But anyway, let's talk. Good idea. It's a start. Oh, no, don't put your email up like that. Jesus Christ. Okay, you guys, do a screenshot of Zale's email right now and let her know. I'm in Georgia, but I travel. Well, I'm going to be in New York, upstate New York, and I will have, when the holidays start kicking in. Oh, I'm so excited. I have 5 emails. Okay, got it. All right. So Nicole, she just gave you the email. Please do it, guys. Just get it done. Just start something. Okay? And then we'll go ahead and start trying to organize because I want to do a transcendental book club. And I want it to have chapters all over the world. So she'll email you, Zale. Beautiful. So I'm excited for you guys. So keep me posted. Let me know. And if you and the book Recall that I'm selling has questions for a book club. And if you ever wanted me to do a free, of course it'd be free, a Zoom class, it would be a class on the questions that are in the book, which are very collective. Keep me posted, Nicole and Zale. Congratulations. See, this is why sometimes I sit on these lives going, I think we're wrapping up, and then we're not. Here we are. So this is now kind of like going into the wrap-up. But I will please also do a book club. Yes, I will. I'm going to work on it because I think it's needed. And then I would do a Zoom. But to be honest with you, I know this is fucked. But if we do a book club on Zoom, let me ask you this. If I charge $5.99, would that be because I have to? We can do a book club in the Discord. Yeah, but we can do it. But in terms of talking about it and us meeting once a month, I'm wondering, only because I'm in a situation where I have to make sure that, I'm just trying to figure it out. I would do a free book club, of course, for the recall, because that's a no-brainer. But in terms of other books, we could do classes on Untethered Soul, Becoming Supernatural, Zachariah Stitchin's The Earth Chronicles, things of that nature. Yeah. How about $5? Lol, I'm unemployed. Okay, how about $4.99? Something like that. Then I would do that. Or 5. Okay, I'll do 5 because it's a straight number. But if there was an unemployed, what I would do is not charge you. I hate to say that to you guys, but if somebody's unemployed, I'm not going to charge you. But I would like it if we did something where paid forward, that kind of thing. Because I also, here's the thing. If you're unemployed, then I would want to make sure that you could also get the book. So I like it if some of us could, like, if we knew somebody was unemployed, right? That we would all collectively chip in, like, I don't know, $5 or $3 or whatever, and go on eBay, find the book, and have it shipped to the person who was unemployed. Does that make sense? So they'd have the book, right? So there would be no reason, because here's the thing I'm going to tell you, going to the library, because I know you're thinking, oh, well, she could go to the library and get the book. No, because the library has 3 weeks before you return it. Sometimes there's putting gas in the cart to go and return the book. Then there's late fees, and sometimes buying the book is just cheaper. It's just cheaper. I remember I did a reading for a client, and he said, I won't say who he is, and he said, well, I'll go get the book because I'm broke. And I go, you just paid me some of this money for your reading. I'll send you $10 right now. I just found the links on these 2 books you need, and go ahead and buy them. And he bought them. Sometimes it's just cheaper to just buy the fucking book. It's like $3, $4, free shipping. I kid you not. So that's what we need to kind of organize ourselves so that we can nurture those who want to go through the spiritual journey. And then the pact that we make is that we pay that person when you get employed, you pay it forward to the next person who's unemployed, or is, you pay it forward. So that's what we need to organize. I know you would do that. You're incredibly generous, Jen. Incredibly generous to a fault. So that's what we should do. Does that sound good? So don't be shy out there. Those of you that are stealth mode, if you're broke, just don't abuse it, obviously, but just let us know. I want to join this, but I don't have the money to buy it. And our job is to find you the book somewhere on eBay or Thrift Books, and then just trust us. We're not going to stalk you. Just give us your address and we'll send the book. Yeah, that's a good donation for the community here. Helps each other. I'm for that. Let's do it. Yeah. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I would appreciate something like that. Absolutely. Just let us know who you are, because you're not a dot. Because it's like a dot. But we'll do that. We'll totally do that. There's no shame in that. I've been there. I've been on the verge of everything. Homelessness. I've been on the dole. Let's put it that way. So there's no shame. And energy, once you guys know the energy work and the magic of the energy work, money will come in. I remember once I lost my job, right? I didn't lose it. I was happy as fuck. I remember my boss fired me. I loved it. And he was like really happy to fire me, and I was happier to be gone. Got my unemployment, and every morning for almost 6 months I was saying, thank fucking God it's over. Every morning I was happy as fuck it was over. I did energy work for that whole summer. Me and my twin were like hanging out at the beach and laying out nude and just making love in the sun. And I was getting my energy work together. And before I knew it, I was channeling other problems, did ayahuasca, did my medicine, separation with my twin, got my shit together. And before I knew it, I was making more money than I ever made in my life. Mostly because, I wasn't panicking about the money. So when I lost my job, I'll never forget, something happened where I went to the hospital. I forgot why. And I got a check for $1,500. And I got, what the fuck? What is this? Is this a mistake? So I called them and I said, wait, I got a check from you. It was my insurance company. And they go, no, that's your check. I go, for what? And they I didn't understand what they were saying. I didn't care. So the check is mine? Yep. I'm telling you, when you trust the universe, it's like amazing that the magic, and you're on the verge of losing everything and you go, I surrender. I trust you. It's like amazing. Been there too. Just really got a job myself. Got you. Good on you, Polly. Used to always look for an excuse to walk out of jobs. Yeah, no, don't walk out of them. Let them help you out because I got the unemployment. It was fabulous. And I needed it. I have worked my entire life, 10, 12-hour days. I still work heavy, heavy hours, but now the difference is I'm in service to people all over the world doing what I love, which is spiritual work, spiritual healing, counseling, coaching, and so forth. And it's my passion. It's like, so when somebody tells me at the last minute they need an emergency session, like I don't care if it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night on my end, I'll do it. I never say no unless I am so blown out I can't, and I'm not going to give them the kind of guidance they need. But typically I say yes. I found a $6.88 settlement check in my junk mail. Sweetie, that's fucking amazing. 688. That's interest 16. I think maybe 16. That's 22. That's 4. That's amazing. My electric bill was covered this month. Company gave me back money, so unexpected and grateful. Yeah, energy work. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something, Nicole. All of you are doing something. I experienced that magic. Yeah. So I like sharing that because you guys know that I've been there, done that. And the only time I tell clients where this shit can visit you again is when you go through grief. And grief will, if grief is your default for more than 6 months, it's going to mess up your money really, really, really bad. Bad. So, and usually the death of a loved one will do that. And or the loss of your twin, separation with your twin, that will do that. And what you have to do as you navigate through another dark night of the soul is to make a pact with yourself that you're going to work on your chakras, you're going to work on your mantras, you're going to work on that while you navigate out of the dark night of the soul into you dawn into yourself. So anyway, I think we're good. I want to wish you all so much love and happiness and abundance. You deserve it. You can have it all. Maya is going to be uploaded today. So if you miss any parts of this live, Maya is discussed. There's two oracle cards that were read that are really kick-ass that I think you should be able to understand that it's your message if you take the time to look for it. And any other last minute shares before I log off? And I want to thank you again for your time and your beautiful energy. Had a good friend pass a few months ago and currently feel I'm in separation again. Makes sense. Yes. I have a friend, my friend passed on Sunday, and it really hit me hard, really hard. You're welcome, Zale. Thank you. Absolutely. Family. Yes, we are family. And you don't have to meet someone physically for them to be your family. Thank you for this live, Tony. I appreciate the wisdom. Sending you and everyone here lots of love and warmth from my heart. That's beautiful, Christine. Thank you for sharing that. So I want you to know you're not alone. You have light beings following you every step of your way. I kid you not. You should talk to them. You're not crazy if you talk out loud and hear answers. As long as they're divine answers, beautiful answers, clear, loving answers, you're good to go. If they're a little twisted, then just call in your archangels and go for protection. Okay, glad I found you today. Thanks for the live. Absolutely, Melanie. Feel free to follow me if you want more, because there are a lot of people posing as me. And you might say, I want to follow her now. And it won't be me. It'll have a dot in the front or a dot at the end. I was trying to find Akora forever and finally found her through a live she did. And that's when I knew I was following the real Akora, for example. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing now. Was talking out loud today, in fact. Good for you. I hope the answers are good. All right, my loves. It's always an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. All right, sending you much love on this journey, and we'll do another live sometime tomorrow. You know how I go with that. All right, take care. Bye-bye.